around. He's 0.3 of a second, maybe 0.4 of a second faster. And so Harvick goes to the top of the chart at 27.115.
Right.
Now, one of the other things that we noticed in practice earlier is the third time out, the cars were faster.
Yeah.
So they would go out, do a run. They were fairly fast. They'd go out the second time, do a run. A little bit faster.
Yeah,
go out the third time, and they were even faster. So that looks good for the third round of this qualifying, too.
He ran a 27.21 on his 5th lap in the first practice. So, as you said, each cycle getting a little bit better, and I think that they have confidence, and we have confidence we're going to see 26-second laps.
Well, already, that pole speed that Harvick just ran, not the pole speed yet, but that speed is faster than the pole was running here in the spring. So this is a different tire, a little bit softer tire, a little more grip.
Chase
Elliott
Elliott
a little faster.
Slowing down after going out there and running 4th quickest. Again, the goal of round 1 is to advance to round 2, and you have to be in the top 24 to be able to do that. So Harvick comfortable at 27.11. No one's going to knock him out of the top 24 after that lap. The 27.39 by Martin Truex Jr. also fairly comfortable there. You get much further than that, and there's quite a few fast cars that still have not gone and put down a big lap. We'll see. Well, we just saw Paul Menard put 27.42 up, and that moves him to 3rd. Boyer goes to 2nd, 27.22.
All right, buddy, good job. P2.
I think the thing too, it's hard for us to show on TV, but Junior, when you're going that fast, it feels like, I mean, it's amazing the speed feeling that you get at this racetrack. The speed through 3 and 4 is nuts. Parker Kligerman this week keeps describing it as, like sitting in a jet fighter, just going that fast and riding along with Joey. It takes full commitment. Listen to the throttle in 3 and 4. You have to trust your car is going to stick. Just barely out of the throttle. May have never been
a little bit there.
May have never been completely out of the throttle. Just throttled back a little bit.
That bottoming out, though, caused him, I think, to, he did move up the track a little bit and probably did go back to 7/8 3/4 throttle for a moment. And that's what happens on a sticker tire. You'll get a little more travel, a little more tire deflection. Hopefully on that second round, he would expect to have a little less tire deflection, a little less travel, and maybe clear that corner a little better. He'll talk to his guys, too, and say, hey, hit the ground a little bit. They can probably work on it.
Is that an air pressure situation where maybe put a little more air pressure in it so that it doesn't travel that much?
Well, I think that the scuff tire shouldn't have as much tire deflection, so that'll, whether you put the same air or not, it should hopefully improve that a little bit. But Steve would have to work on the rounds and try to adjust the rounds in the car to keep the car from traveling as much in the back as they can.
Ryan Blaney was fastest in practice earlier. We'll see if he can back that up. In practice, he ran a 27.13. Right now, still compared to Harvick, Blaney is a little bit quicker.
Yeah, he really looked good into 3. Not quite as fast through the center. Gave up a little bit of time, but still.
He's going to be faster. Blaney is the fastest at 27.043. That is just under averaging 200 miles around this racetrack.
That's so fast. Think about it. It's average speed.
Average speed. Yeah, we know they're slowing down to about 170 miles an hour in the middle of the turn in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So think about that. They're going so fast that they're countering that.
They're probably running 206 at the end of the front straightaway into turn 1 before they go down into turn 1.
Now we're comparing to Landon Castle. Castle is currently 24th. Again, the top 24 will advance to the second round.
I tell you what these drivers feel about this racetrack and leaving the groove. You see the drivers. I just saw Kyle Busch come to the start-finish line. We see in qualifying, they always run the top coming to the start-finish line. Not here. They just are afraid to leave the bottom. It gets so slick out of the groove. Kyle Busch clearly fast enough to be in the top 24, but not using all the racetrack just because he doesn't trust it.
He's one of the few guys that cycled his tires at the beginning of this session.
And he's 3rd quickest on that lap.
I think cycling that tires, I think has a lot to do with just that security you talked about, but then also it lets the driver hustle that car and give way more information to make changes for this next run, because the tires had been scuffed, and it's more similar to like that's going to be between the first and second round. I just think it lets them communicate with the team a little better.
Only 6 cars have yet to put up a time, and that is good news for Chase Elliott, who right now is 18th of the playoff drivers, he's currently the lowest on the list.
As we're going right here, Rick. You know, the other thing we have to consider is there's 41 cars here today. So as we talk about everybody advancing, we're also going to set the field down to 40. One driver won't continue. David Starr and Timmy Hill, Joey Gase. There's a list of drivers. Currently, David Starr the slowest. Joey Gase just better than him. So we'll have to see if either of those guys return to the racetrack to try to continue. See Joey Gase out there right now. He's a little off the pace, but just trying to improve.
Hill, Kyle Weatherman, Reed Sorensen, and Parker Kligerman. Those will be the 5 drivers that will have to fight for the 4 positions. So the slowest of those 5 will not make it into round 2 or be racing this weekend.
And currently, Starr is the slowest, but Hill has not made a lap yet.
He's waiting out the clock, Jeff. Waiting for that shade. I mean, his weekend determines on what kind of lap he can make. He wants everything to go his way.
Michael McDowell in the 34 completing his lap, 28th quickest. And now 39 of the 41 have been on the track. Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champions, making his way out. A 7-time winner at this racetrack and has won under the current configuration. Won here a year ago in the spring.
Jimmy was 12th fastest in practice earlier today. So those guys should have confidence that he can run a good enough lap to get him into the next round.
Buscher is now below the line, but he's going back out for another lap to see if he can upset David Reagan. Go a little faster. And Jimmy Johnson will be comfortably inside the top 24. That lap puts him 13th. Parker Kligerman a half a second off of what he needs to run, but he does go a little bit quicker on that lap.
So a little update too on this battle to make this race. Timmy Hill in the 66, they've withdrawn that entry. So now there's only 40 cars.
So with that, the 4 drivers that were in jeopardy won't be in jeopardy any longer. They will all 4 make the race since Timmy Hill has withdrawn. This is Austin Dillon back out on the track. He's trying to move his brother out of the top 24 if he has a better lap.
Well, Ty Dillon, if you see, Ty looks like he's improving his lap.
Marty.
You see Chase Elliott moving to the end of pit road. Alan Gustafson making that call. They were worried because of what we talked about. Everybody on the racetrack, in theory, going faster. They're down in 21st. He sent them down there, but they needed to leave with 35 seconds left. So if they do get knocked down, they're not going to make time to get it done.
Spin across the grass to 38. Sideways, and David Reagan.
No contact.
Yeah, got airborne coming off of where the little quarter mile is in the infield.
A little bit of damage, obviously, to the hood as the car got backwards and the air comes up underneath that hood, pulls it up. But otherwise,
killed the nose.
We'll see if he did get damage to the nose.
Yeah, hood's junk, everything.
Yeah, he got airborne. He was sideways coming out of turn 4 through the grass and then hit. It's a little quarter mile that's here in the.
Here's a replay.
The quad oval here.
Oh, yeah.
Transition from the grass to the asphalt. Looks like it hit the end of the asphalt, and that's what tore it up.
You know, guys, the nose doesn't look that bad. I thought it was going to look worse. It seems like the back of the hood, the air pressure just blew it up a little bit. Maybe some damage there. Maybe they can put the hood on from a backup car. I mean, it's hard to say. They'll have to measure the height of the nose, but it's not destroyed by any means.
Ty Dillon did make it to the finish line to improve his lap to move him to 22nd.
Unfortunate for David Reagan, 27th quickest in round 1. Now they'll have to work on that car.
Well, for the record, I think Austin Dillon is picking the Patriots as well. So, but narrowly missing there, getting into the top 24, Austin. How much of this place is about commitment when you talk about qualifying at Texas?
You know, it's a lot about that, but it's also about, you know, finesse in a certain way. Is like you can be over-aggressive and get through that right front tire real quick. And, you know, we're kind of experimenting this week, trying something a little different and working hard to get it right. I felt like it was pretty decent in practice, and we were too tight right there. So, oh, well, we haven't qualified good for a while now. And so we've raced well, though, in the past. So we'll just come up to the field on Sunday like we usually do.
Is this experimenting to learn just more in general about mile and a half, maybe help you out in Miami?
Yeah, it would definitely help us out in Miami. Just a new package that we're trying.
All right, Austin Dillon not making the top 24, but as he said, expects to race well on Sunday, Rick.
And we'll take a look at 25 through 40. As far as those positions are now locked in, A.J. Allmendinger was the closest to making it to round 2, but not getting in. We just heard from Austin Dillon. He's 26. All the way down, Parker Kligerman will be racing on Sunday. LaJoy Sorensen, Joey Gase, and David Starr, the Texas native, will be racing on Sunday as well. Coverage when you're on the go with NASCAR Mobile. It's the official app of NASCAR. It puts race coverage, live in-car cameras right at your fingertips. Search NASCAR in your app store, or you can visit NASCAR.com/mobile. Let's go to the Peacock Pit Box. Steve Letard is now joined by the driver of the 96, Parker Kligerman.
That's right, Rick. Normally our colleague on Sundays, but this week in a race car.
Yes.
First, congratulations on the ride. Always
Appreciate
great to
it.
see you on the racetrack. Tell us about the day so far.
Well, it's been interesting. I've made a huge mistake, and you can make fun of me for this. So
Okay,
I told my
good. I'm
team
gonna write
leading up
this
this
down.
week, I haven't been here on the reconfigured Texas yet. And so I said, I'll just show up in Q-Trip. It's Q practice. Just show up in Q-Trip. I could have used a little race practice.
Few laps?
A couple laps. I did not. I guess I underestimated how hard turn 1 is here now. I mean, it is really difficult. Every driver has a different opinion of it. Everyone thinks, oh, you can drive this far in, or you need to lift here. It's amazing how many different opinions are.
So as we get ready to see round 2
Yep.
get underway here, trying to go from 24 cars down to 12, do you think that's the key for qualifying? Is that entrance to the speed you can carry through the flatter end of the racetrack, turns 1 and 2?
I think it's a massive part of it to see Alex Bowman going here. So when he's coming off 4 right there, he's basically flat out coming to the green, right? This turns 3 and 4 is insanely fast. And right here, he's already on the brake. He's going to carry that brake to about there. Now he's trying to get the throttle back down right here. And you're increasing it, and you'll get back to full throttle. Yeah, a little bit further back than that. And then you almost like lose the car a little bit out to the wall,
transitions
too.
are still tough.
It gets so flat. And then down here, I mean, this is 198. What's he going to get down to? 186 in the center corner. I mean, that's insane. That corner is got to be one of the fastest mile and a half corners we have.
Yeah, 186 is minimum or maximum speed at some racetracks. Here in Texas, it's the minimum at that end. Ryan Blaney, this 12 car was crazy fast in practice, continued to be really fast. Another 2017. So the debate is, are we going to see something in the 200s? Are we going to see something sub 27? I think we will.
Yep.
How about these tires? They seem like they continue to get better each run.
They do. They continue to get better each run. They're not falling off. That was a good lap there by him. And if I remember correctly, last year, I watched last year's qualifying, and we did get below the 27th. So I'm expecting to see it at least in that third round. When it gets fully the sun's gone, which it basically is now. It cools this track down even more. I just think you're going to continue to see the speeds increase because this place is just gaining grip. And especially 1 and 2, I mean, you're just going to continue to find more speed, ability to drive it harder there.
Good lap right here by William Byron. But we don't want you to be analysts the whole time because you're also a driver. So talk to us about this opportunity driving on Sunday for Dawn Brothers there. How do you approach the race when you're in a car that I think would admit, hey, we don't have the funding up the front, guys? How do you approach Sunday?
Well, you have to have realistic goals. You know, our goal is not to go do what Harvick's doing right here, which is fight for the pole. Our goal is realistic. So we look at, all right, first goal, top 30, right? And if you look amongst the pecking order of this series, I just wanted to listen to that real quick. Man, that's just nuts to me how much you're in the throttle down there. But anyway, we look at the pecking order and we say, all right, as a team that hasn't run all year, a driver who has not run all year, me just jumping in, all right, we want to be top 30. If we do that, we're beating all the guys and we feel like we're similar budget levels. And then we start overachieving. Start beating the 13, start beating the 43, the 38, the 34, those cars. And if we got to the JTG cars, then we're way overachieving. So that's how we look at a weekend because that's only realistic way you can do it. You can't think you're going to show up here at this. I always say, all right, Cup is really hard. It's really hard.
Yes, that is true. We see right here Chase Elliott in the 9. It's like he's just taking the green. You talked about this transition. We've seen so many guys talk about the entry into turn 1, how it's very difficult. It's kind of flat and you're away from the wall. Talk a lot about the hash marks and the entry point versus turn 3. This used to be one of the more difficult entries, but now on this racetrack, I think it's turned into the easier end of the racetrack.
So I saw Kevin Harvick coming out of the bathroom before first practice, and I was asking him, I was like, all right, 1 and 2, like, what should I be doing, blah, blah. And he took me through this whole litany of things. I go, 3 and 4. He goes, it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, you wouldn't even let the guy come out of the bathroom?
Well, when he came out, I waited. I waited for him to come out.
Okay, all right.
I stalked him for a second, and then he was nice enough to talk to me.
Well, I think that's going to be disappointing for Chase Elliott. 10th of 10. You would just have to assume guys are going to continue to go faster. That would eliminate him. 6 minutes left. Maybe he could cool it down and get another run on tires. But in the situation that they're at, you know, okay is not going to be enough. I mean, you look at Logano winning last week, who we're on board with currently right here, and the points lead to the other ones. These guys below the cut line have to be thinking a winning type performance.
Especially that 9 car. You know, they have to do what they've done, in my opinion, throughout the playoffs. That's overachieve. You know, they've got to find, wow, that's a lap right there. But they've got to find a little something. They've got to overachieve. They've got to put themselves at least in the top 12 for this qualifying session, because that gets them the best chance of having stage points, right? And if you're starting up there, that's the best chance of being able to get up there. Oh, so we had our first sub 27-second lap.
The comparisons are down. We got our telemetry needs a little tweaking. We're working on that to get it back up to show you comparison. But Joey Logano there, that is a sub 27-second lap. So we knew it was coming.
Yep.
And there it is with a round to go. And I think, not that you're ever conservative, right? But you know you have to have a good lap. 26.96 for Logano. That's great. Wow. And the track record is a 26.87, I believe. So I think that'll be in jeopardy. Kurt Busch, the guy in third, is
That's
the guy.
right, my eye on.
Yeah.
He's won the pole here last year, this race. He won in the spring. I looked at his data. He does some incredible things around here. In terms of, especially his braking into one is really impressive.
Well, I'll give you a little hint that my fantasy team would really appreciate Kurt Busch being on the pole. I would take the 10 bonus points, but I think to do it, he's going to have to beat his brother Kyle Busch, currently 5th. But we've seen, you know, it seemed like the first year of this multi-round qualifying, the same guy would be fast in every round. But I think as guys have gotten smarter with adjustments, you know, we've seen anyone in the top 5, top 8 have the ability to sit on the pole in that final round.
I think it's adjustments. I think it's setting the car up appropriately to the idea that the track is going to change throughout the rounds. You know, there's all those things. And I think the drivers, you know, we have gotten smarter at knowing what it is that you need to do in each round, especially that first one for these top guys. They know what to take out of the car to get into the top 24, and then so on and so forth. If you don't, I'd say most of them say if we can't make it out of the top 24, then we have no chance, you know, fighting for that top 12 anyway.
We see McMurray end up 16th. Let's take a listen into the radio with the 9 Chase Elliott.
I felt like I worked way harder there for nothing. We're not close to making it.
Well, that's the brutal truth.
Yeah, but you know, I like
honesty.
that. That's how you get better, right? Don't sugarcoat it. And it sounded to me that you know, the car didn't really do what he was wanting, and it was just not to run any faster.
So, and I take working harder as, you know, he was probably doing more inside that race car. He probably tried to maybe take more speed into turn 1. You know, he's probably going to have to work the wheel harder down to 3 and 4. He was probably trying to carry more throttle, work the wheel harder off there, and it all came up to be moot because he didn't go faster. Right. So it's one of those things where effort doesn't always equal results in terms of how fast you're going.
Well, we have Chase Elliott below the cut line, Eric Almirola below the cut line, and Truex just above. Marty? Oh, I think we have a little problem with Marty's mic. We're having some technical problems here.
We lost him.
You'll have that. You'll have that. Who's not having technical problems? Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch. Think about this. Stewart-Haas Racing, they're 3 for 3 for poles on this configuration at the Texas track. They've continued to sit on the pole. Logano currently fastest, but you have to think Harvick, Kurt Busch, we move on to that next round. Boyer down in 9th, also a Stewart-Haas Racing car. We'll all be shooting for that #1 position, that #1 pit stall. Eric Almirola in 13th. I assume they won't have to start on these qualifiers. You can have to start on sticker tires, so there's no reason not to run again. I would expect to see the 10 to go back out, make another run as we see Kyle Larson just now taking his lap. Marty, let's see. We got you now, bud.
Hey, you got me. Hey, there you go, Stevie. Hey, it's always a good thing when all this stuff works, right? Hey, so for Ryan Newman, he actually tried to make a lap, went out there, got offline in 1 and 2, knew immediately, said this is not going to work, guys. Shut it down, came back in. So now they're scrambling to get the engine cooled back down. You can see he's got 2:06 left in this round to get back out. So should be plenty of time, but just got offline. The veteran knew that's not going to work.
And I like that call by the driver to come in, Parker. Not because the tires, I think that's not going to hurt you, but, you know, this is wide open throttle, which is really hard on engine temperature. You're going to be almost wide open for close to a minute between the up to speed lap and your commitment lap. You really have to get that engine cooled down.
You do, and you're not going to gain anything. You know, if you've slipped up off 2, if you're a little wide, I mean, it's killed the whole lap because we carry so much throttle from turn 2 to 3 to 4. That's basically one big straightaway. Jimmy Johnson out here.
So we talked about the different ends of the racetrack. Talk about the bumps. From what I understand, down here in 3 and 4, there still are those ripples.
Yeah, it does. It's actually starting to feel a little bit like Atlanta. You know, the bottom of Atlanta, I mean, I could see this getting there over the next 5-6 years. It's getting real wavy and bumpy, and you find little pockets of grip, I almost call them like buckets, where the car really grips up, and looks like Chase Elliott's going to try to make another run at this.
Yeah, right now, currently, William Byron in 7th is a Hendrick Motorsports car that looks like it will advance. Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott all below the cut line. We'll see if Chase is able to make whatever adjustments they need to make. It's hard to say. We don't have the tracker. I mean, it doesn't look bad, though.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks solid. Hopefully, Allen has better news at the end of this lap as opposed to the first time he told him when that happened.
Well, some of the problem is sometimes it looks good because you had to overslow it down here in 3 and 4, painting the white line. As we see Eric Almirola on the left side, also below the cut line, trying to advance. We'll see the 9 of Chase Elliott. Does he move up?
There.
Not enough. 15th. Nope. It'll improve his
good
pit
effort.
position.
Yeah. And that's big, though. I mean, that's so much closer, so much less work they have to do in that first stage to get those stage points.
That's big right there.
Wow.
Eric Almirola eliminates Truex. Truex is going to try to strike back and put a lap together. That's taking the green with 15 seconds left, so this lap will absolutely count. Oh, looks like he's off to speed.
He didn't have it.
He didn't have it. That was it.
Not enough.
Oh, man. So Martin Truex Jr. basically has made the statement with this 78 at the mile-and-a-half over the last couple years, and here he is not moving through. I think that's a big shock. We still have the two of Brad Keselowski. He's going to try to be the spoiler. It looks like he's off the pace down there in 3 and 4.
Yep.
The 1, though, is at speed. This lap will count.
If he doesn't catch the 2 in an awkward place, it messed him up.
He's off the...
When you catch a car like that, it can scare you.
So, 2 of the playoff 8.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. don't advance. Eric Almirola gets it done. Parker, appreciate you coming to join us. Good luck all weekend long. It's always fun to work next to you, but I'll be excited to call the race and watch you out there. Now that I know the mini goals, we'll be able to check them off as you go.
Let me know if I'm doing a good job or not. Be as honest as Alan Gustafson. And thank you to NBC and everyone who let me do this. It's a lot of fun.
It's great, right? Well, good luck. We'll be back for the 3rd and final round of qualifying from Texas. We'll determine who's on the front row, more importantly, the pole sitter.
24 now set after round 2. They did not advance, the closest by 1/1000th of a second to making that 3rd round. Martin Truex Jr. is with Marty.
And so close for that 78 team of Martin Truex Jr. And I know you said earlier it was loose. Was it tighter that run, Martin?
Yeah, a little tighter there with hot tires, though. You know, it's just hard to really gauge it. I missed the bottom 1 and 2 a little bit. But I think just generally harder to go a little bit faster on hot tires. I got a little loose in 3 on my best lap there. And if I hadn't screwed that up, I think obviously would have been in. And I think we could have adjusted on it from there. But really line-sensitive track, really fast, and, you know, for whatever reason, we've been off a little bit qualifying since they redid this place. I haven't quite figured out what I need for the qualifying stuff, but I feel like, in race trend, we've been really good here. So we'll see. We'll work hard on it tomorrow and go get them on Sunday.
And, Rick, he was quick to make that point to me. He said, I haven't qualified well here in a while, but we always race well.
Anytime you're on a mile-and-a-half track, you have to look at Martin Truex Jr. as being one of the favorites. Round 3 is coming up next. Monster Energy Cup Series qualifying from Texas Motor Speedway. Thirsty, as a matter of fact. Well, let's find out what it looks like between Eric Almirola and Martin Truex Jr. as we look at the lap tracker, guys.
Remember, Martin said he lost it in turn 3. We'll see what we can see from this tracker. He's really good off of turn 2, Jeff.
Yeah, really good. Basically half a car length on Almirola down the back straightaway. Of course, he got off 2 well, so that continued to build, but getting into 3, see Almirola kind of stays even, gains a little bit, but it all happens right here.
Yeah, Truex got a little loose in the middle of the corner, off throttle just a second, and that carried all the way to the flag stand. That's all it takes. So fast here, one little crack of the throttle, man. Cost you a lot of time.
So Martin said this wasn't a place that he qualified well since they repaved it. He was 6th, 7th, and 7th in the repaves. The worst he's been qualifying this year with the exception of Charlotte, where he qualified 15th. back in May.
Pretty surprising there for Martin Truex Jr. He will start 13th on Sunday. So now these drivers have 5 minutes to determine who will win the pole, who will be the fastest, who will be 1 through 12 starting Sunday's race. And Logano goes out right away and gets on the clock. Will we see a track record? Saw a big bounce there as he was going through 2.
I'm not sure that was what he was.
Come on back.
Yeah, he didn't. He missed 1 and 2.
He was way up the track, so they're going to tussle down on the pit road, try to cool it off, try to get back out there.
And that's just trying to get more. You know, this car's got to go faster to sit on the pole, and he just drove into one a little bit too hard and just wouldn't stay the bottom.
Denny Hamlin searching for a win in 2018. And he posts a 27:10 for the first lap. Second lap, 27:105 for Kurt Busch. He's second quickest. Then William Byron at a 27:126.
So close. A 10, a 10, and a 12. Byron, who run 10th here in April. Great finish for him. It's a good track for Williams so far. His young career. Good qualifying run. That's frustrating when you run a 12 and the pole's a 10 and you're third.
We'll see if Kyle Busch has anything for Denny Hamlin. Again, Hamlin has the fastest time at 27:10. We saw last round someone dip below 27 seconds. Will we see it in the third round? Kyle Busch in the green. And lost a lot on corner exit.
Room to make it up down here, though. So much grip. 3 and 4 compared to 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it.
Fourth quickest for Kyle Busch of the 4 that have gone. And right now, the 4 that have gone are separated by 7/100ths of a second.
Blaney had good speed in practice. We'll see if he can try to beat Denny's lap. Looking pretty good. Got a good exit that's going to carry him all the way down the back straightaway. Gaining more and more.
Looking really good. If he can hold this up, this is a great lap.
Still sort of hovering right there. A little bit of a gain on corner exit there.
92.
Yeah, good.
There it is. 26:93 for Ryan Blaney.
Boyer with a good lap.
Yeah, that was a good lap for Boyer. I didn't know Boyer had that kind of speed. 26:96.
What did you predict the pole was going to
I
be?
thought the pole was going to be a 26:82.
You said 82.
82.
All right. Steve, what did you say?
Somewhere around a 26:93, Rick.
That's what I thought. I knew somebody was right on it. I thought 26:90, but we'll see.
Well, I thought of 93, but Kevin Harvick, Rick, don't sleep on Kevin Harvick. We just talked about Stewart Haas Racing is 3 for 3 for pole positions here in Texas in this configuration. Boyer second, Kurt Busch fourth. Almirola and Harvick still to run out of that organization.
Harvick's on his lap now to return 1 and 2.
Eric Jones, 8th quickest of the 8 that have been out there, 27:29. Harvick in the red.
Yeah, he doesn't have the speed to be able to.
Yeah, he's not going to upset Blaney at the pole now.
Had a good comeback though off turn 4.
Third, it's Blaney, Boyer, Harvick now. Keselowski is a 1/10 of a second off. And still to go, Logano, if he can get back out, which I'm sure he will be able to go out and give it another run, but Almirola.
Joey's on the track there. Starting his lap. See him at the bottom.
And Almirola trying to finish up his lap.
Joey's losing time. That's just such an impressive lap by Blaney. These laps by these guys that they're running, Almirola and Logano, they're good laps, but Blaney put up such a number.
Logano's lap, considering he has hot tires, pretty impressive.
Almirola is 4th, and the blue oval dominates. It's a Ford and Ryan Blaney that wins the pole. Then Boyer, Harvick, Almirola, and Keselowski all driving Fords, rounding out the top 5.
3 Stewart Haas cars in the top 4.
Screwed up my second lap.
Marty.
Well, let's chat with Ryan Blaney. So was that 27 seconds of holding your breath or what?
Almost. Yeah, that was a really good lap. We made good changes, and I messed up my second round pretty bad. I got greedy in turn one and blitzed in there too fast and was really bad up the racetrack. And we made good changes for the second round, or the last round, and I didn't get in the corners hard, and that helped it out. But really, really proud of this Carlisle team. The whole 12 group is pretty neat, you know. We were saying, even though we're out of the playoffs, we want to go and obviously win races, and our car's been really fast all day, so hopefully we can keep it. I'm excited for race trim tomorrow, and happy to be here in Texas. This is pretty cool. So congrats to the 12 team. That's all those guys.
Ryan, we talk about 200 miles an hour qualifying here at Texas, but walk the fans through just how challenging a lap like that is.
I think it's the most challenging because the two corners are so different. You know, you're lifting all the way out of the gas in 1 and 2, and kind of on the brakes pretty decent. It's flatter. And then you go through 3 and 4, and you're maybe 50% throttle is the least amount of throttle you have. So it's just the two different ends are way different of how you drive them. And honestly, that's a big testament, you know, crew chief and engineers on setting the car up. That's really hard to do, different load points. So you are holding your breath for a little bit, especially when it's nighttime like this and it's cold and fast. So that is pretty exciting. Hopefully the fans enjoyed it and get ready for a good truck race coming up.
Little statement poll for Ryan Blaney. Oh, Rick, by the way, at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, he did set a statement, and he joins 6 other drivers. As you see, the fastest poles ever on 1.5-mile tracks. That ranks second behind Kurt Busch's pole from a year ago. And those are the only 2 poles on 1.5-mile tracks that have been over 200 miles an hour average.
Look at that down there at the bottom, Jeff Bodine, Atlanta, 1997 now. They haven't repaved that track. They talk about it every year. Imagine if they repaved it today. How fast they would go around that track. 205 miles an hour, I bet, would be the lap speed in qualifying.
We were there that day, and nobody could even believe you could run 197 mile an hour average. It was amazing to run that fast.
Ryan Blaney wins the pole. He's not a part of the championship contending 8, but Boyer, Harvick, Almirola, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, all in the top 10. Only 3 races to go in the 2018 season to determine a champion, and we know it's going to be a huge battle, especially when you come to Texas. We have Texas native Stone Cold Steve Austin telling us what it's going to be like.
You got to go to places where they expect you to bring it. Places where they want you to fight for it. Places where they push you, they test you, and make you feel how big you got to go to have it all.
They touch! Truex goes sideways! Logano gets by!
The spotlight's bigger. The stakes are bigger. The pressure's bigger. The championship's calling them, right?
Logano getting the win!
Miami, baby! Get it!
Everything they've raced for, everything they've worked for, it's all coming down to these last few weeks. So welcome to No Limits, Texas.
I want to put you in an arm bar or something right now. After listening to him, that gets you fired up, and he's going to be a part of our tease on Sunday, the full tease. So we're looking forward to that. Marty.
I tell you what, Boyer and I watched that. Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're fired up, aren't you, Boyer? So how's a qualifying lap at Martinsville compared to Texas?
That's what I was just telling you, man. Holy, you go from Martinsville, that little bouldering short track up there in Virginia, to this high-speed, madhouse out here in Texas. It's unbelievable how much faster it is. I mean, that right there, I knew you had to, saddle up and dig deep, and that's what it is. When a track's got that much grip in it like that, it's like, man, how hard can you run that thing in there and pull on that wheel the other way and mash the gas, because that's what you got to do. I was making some adjustments as you go down the back straightaway. So crazy how uniquely different the corners are. 1 and 2, since they repave and the reconfiguration, it's really hard to find where you're at. And I know that sounds weird, but like when you roll off in there with so much speed, so much momentum out of 3 and 4, you get down there and it looks huge and really wide, and all of a sudden you see that apex and you're almost late, so you try to get down there and carry a ton of speed down in 3 and 4. A good lap for our Rush Truck Centers Mobile Delvac 1 Ford, and it's just a good start, right? Well, now we go get them.
On a weekend when they need a good finish, he gets a good start, Rick.
And you love the smiles on Clint Boyer's face. Take a look at what's happening tomorrow on CNBC. The day starts 12:30 with Monster Energy Cup Series practice. Then 1:30 will be Xfinity Series qualifying, also on CNBC. The final practice for Monster Energy Cup Series starts on the app at 3. Then at 3:30 it will be on NBCSN. From there on out, everything on NBCSN with the countdown to green and Xfinity Series racing at 4:30. Well, we just witnessed the second fastest qualifying lap ever on a 1.5-mile track, but they have 334 laps that they've got to deal with on Sunday.
Well, Kevin Harvick having a good day. I think that's who everybody's afraid of in this race. He's been so good at this racetrack, starting third. But Clint Boyer and Eric Almirola, guys that pretty much have to win to get themselves into Miami with a chance to win a championship, and two guys that the big three don't want to see win, because one of them did win. It would put a tremendous amount of pressure on those three.
Yeah, Chase Elliott was struggling in that first practice. Got a little bit better in this qualifying round, but the speed that they don't have, the speed they lacked, is something I think that may be concerning that team a little bit. So probably pay attention to them tomorrow in practice and see what they find for race trim. And Ryan Blaney, you talk about the non-playoff guys. Can somebody come in here and win this race? It's not, one of the playoffs guys has won the last 27 or 28 races in the playoffs. So can one of them non-playoff guys steal a win next Sunday?
Ryan Blaney mentioned he wants to be the one who goes out and gets wins to end the season.